All right, my friend, this is Coach Marco Robert, and welcome to my channel. Guys, today I want to talk to you about something that is dear to my heart, and it is how to deal with the competition in business. Guys, if you're watching this and then you own or run your own business, one of the most challenging things to do is to deal with the competition. Now, I'm going to tell you why. Most of your competitors are pure morons. That's just the reality. Most competitors out there are morons. Let me tell you what that means. See, while you're here watching this and trying to actually grow your business, while you're here trying to do everything you can to outpace and outrun the competition, these people are actually eating Cheetos and freaking watching the baseball game on TV, okay? So they have the average business out there, the average business owner out there has no clear concept of what they need to actually grow a business. How do I know that? Because I've traveled around the world and I've actually interacted with thousands, tens of thousands of business owners. The average guy out there has no freaking clue what they're doing. That's just the reality. So now, when you're competing with them, you have to understand that you're competing with someone who has no clue what they're doing. So they're going to do a lot of moronic things, okay? Like, for example, if they're not able to pay their bills, if they're kind of getting tight for payroll, if they're not sure if they're going to make their month's end, they're willing to do anything they want, right? So if let's say you're selling phones and they're selling phones, and the cost for a phone is $700, right? You're paying $700, they're paying $700, so you're trying to make a little bit of a profit by selling them for $900, right? Well, they might be willing to actually discount their phones to, $650. They're losing money, and they're not even aware that they're losing money. Trust me on that. They're not even aware they're losing money. All they're trying to do is they want to make a sale, because if they don't make that sale, they can't pay the rent. So those are the people that you're dealing with. So, when you're in business, you have to understand that, competition is oftentimes not going to be fair because you're dealing with morons. That's just the reality. So how do we outpace morons? Well, there's one way, and that is you have to be more innovative. You need to bring more innovation to the marketplace. If you're trying to compete head to head with them, guys, it's not going to work. If you're trying to compete on price with them, guys, it will not work. Competing on price with a moron is a race to the bottom. Okay? At the end of the day, you lower your price, they lower their price. You lower their price, they lower their price. Eventually, one of you is going out of business. Okay? And then the market is going to be like, okay, I didn't even want to deal with any one of you anyways, because you didn't bring me a lot of value. The only reason why I was coming here is because you had the cheapest price. And then eventually, both of you are out of business. So the secret to business is not to compete on price, but to compete on value. So I want you to do this, okay? Start by actually looking at all your competitors and find out exactly what do you think their strengths are. What are they good at? What is their competitive advantages? And then I want you to bring your team, or if you're by yourself, bring a friend, and then get a whiteboard or a pad and an easel, and then start writing down what are your competitive advantages. Now that you know who your competitors are, what are your competitive advantages? So list all of your competitive advantages. When you're done, I want you to take a big black marker, and I want you to actually cross out anything you wrote on that pad or on that whiteboard that any one of your competitors could also say. I'm going to tell you something. Usually by the end of this exercise, there's nothing left on the whiteboard. By the end of the exercise, you're going to find out that you may not have a true competitive advantage in your marketplace. Right? So if you're honest with yourself, basically what you're saying, what you're selling, what you're marketing, what you're advertising, the quality of your product, the quality of your service may not be a lot different than what the competition is doing. That's a huge mistake. So what do? You go back to the drawing boards and you actually start innovating. I'll give you the 4 areas that you need to innovate. Number 1, in your team. Who's on your team? How are they better than the competition? What are you doing to make sure that people on your team actually outperform the competition? That's number 1. Number 2, let's look at your operations. Let's look at your product. Let's look at your cost of producing that product. Let's look at your profit margins. Let's look at your accounting models. Let's look at your accounting systems. Let's look at your production systems. It's called SOPs, standard operating procedures. How are you better? How are you systemized in your company in a way that you can actually not only compete with the competition, but outpace the competition? Okay. Number 3, let's look at your customers. Let's look at your customer service. How are you better? How are you bringing more variety? How are you satisfying your customers better than the competition? And lastly, step 4, let's look at your sales and marketing. And then tell me, how do you actually, or how could you bring more value to your customers with your sales and marketing process? Let me give you an example. Could you package 2 of the things that you sell together to bring more value to your customers? Or could you actually bring a complementary product or service that you may not even sell yourself, but by teaming up with somebody else, bringing something of greater value to your customers? Let's say you're in the car business, right? And a great example is a company called Mercedes-Benz, right? Mercedes-Benz, they make really, really good cars. Then they teamed up with another company called AMG, and then AMG is actually able to improve the interior of the car. I think they also work on the engine of the car. So while a Mercedes-Benz is a really good car, a Mercedes-Benz AMG brings you a higher level of satisfaction. Why? Because Mercedes-Benz actually teamed up with another company to bring their customers a value proposition that is superior than anything else in the market. That makes sense? So that's what I want you to do. I want you to start sitting down and I want you to start thinking about, how can I innovate in my team, in my operations, with my customers, and with my sales and marketing aspects of my business. So guys, you want to know how to deal with the competition? You want to know how to outpace the competition? Number 1, understand that you're dealing with morons, people who actually are not like you, who are not trying to better their businesses in most instances. In fact, it's a race to the bottom. So don't try to race against them. Instead, innovate. Separate yourself. Divide yourself from the rest of the people in your marketplace. That's the way you're going to be able to actually outshine the competition, attract the bulk of the marketplace, and then win every single day in business. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. This is Coach Marco Robert. Make sure you click the like button. And guys, if you enjoyed this, or if you have any comments, just make sure that you comment below and engage with me. I love to engage with you, and then that's how I build a relationship. That's how I actually know what to put in the future videos that I'm creating for you guys. Okay? Coach Marco Robert here. You guys have a wonderful day. See you further down that road of business success. Take care. Guys, this is Coach Marco Robert. Remember, if you keep on doing what you've always done, you're going to keep on getting what you've always gotten. Click on the next videos and continue your education.